I am very pleased to be here with my counterparts across the NATO alliance today. We are at a pivotal moment in the history of Ukraine, Europe, and global stability. Since the Second World War, we have worked very hard as the members of the NATO alliance to ensure peace and stability throughout the world. Today's conference and meeting of the Defense Minister is very important in terms of reiterating the importance of collaboration and coordination across the NATO alliance. For Canada's part, since 2015, we have been on the ground in a very important training mission, which we extended and expanded 2 weeks ago. We have trained over 30,000 Ukrainian soldiers with this mission. And the escalation of Russian troops at the Ukrainian border, including in Belarus, is increasingly significant and important, and implores us as an alliance to continue to work together and to collaborate. I will have more to say in the coming days, but just 2 days ago, Canada recommitted its support for Ukraine. We have now committed $700 million in aid to Ukraine, and we will be providing both lethal and non-lethal aid to Ukraine. This is a very significant issue for us all, and Canada stands with Ukraine in support of its sovereignty and stability, as well as with our NATO partners. Thank you.
Minister, Bloomberg News, any proof for Russia's pullback of troops? Is there any proof so far?
At this time, we are still noting that there are approximately 100,000 Russian troops at the Ukrainian border, including in Belarus. We look forward to seeing evidence of the withdrawal of troops on Russia's part, but we need to prepare for any eventuality with that significant escalation of Russian troops that we have seen over the last weeks and months. Therefore, we are continuing to take all circumstances under consideration, and from the Canadian standpoint, we are ensuring that our troops are safe and secure while continuing to commit to Ukraine's sovereignty and stability.
What should NATO do? You will meet Ukrainian and Georgian colleagues. What will be your main message to them?
Well, I was in Ukraine 2 weeks ago. I was in Kyiv and I met with Minister Reznikov, and I'm in constant communication with him, including yesterday. We will continue to commit to Ukraine's stability and sovereignty. We believe in the international rules-based order that has been in place in Europe and across this world, protecting peace and stability and democracy throughout the world since the end of the Second World War under the Bretton Woods Agreement. Therefore, we will continue in any conversation, including with my Georgian and Ukrainian counterparts, that commitment should retain in place, and the protection of democracy, peace and stability and the rules-based international order should indeed continue.
If Russia were to de-escalate, would you reconsider strengthening the eastern flank?
At the current time, I think you should know that Canada remains committed to the protection and the protection of NATO's eastern flank. In fact, 2 weeks ago, I was in Latvia visiting our troops, and Canadians are taking a leading role in the Enhanced Forward Presence battle group. What do we do there? We work on the ground with soldiers from 10 NATO countries to ensure that there is protection and a reinforcement in the eastern flank. In terms of Canada's position going forward, the extension of that mission is in my mandate letter as minister, and we look forward to continuing to work with our NATO allies in that regard.
How concerned are you that this deployment will be protracted in a long-term deployment by the Russians?
As I said, we've been concerned since 2014 when Russia illegally occupied the Crimea. So we will continue to ensure that we are there every step of the way when illegal actions like that occur. Russia has a choice. Russia can choose to de-escalate through diplomatic negotiation, which I hope will continue, or it will face severe economic sanctions. And that is the situation at the current time. We have seen that diplomacy may indeed continue to be possible, and on behalf of my country and indeed the partners and allies more broadly of NATO, we all hope for a peaceful, negotiated solution.
What do you think about the open door policy of this organization and future enlargement, the position of Canada?
The position of Canada is that we believe each country should make its own determination about the international organizations that it chooses to be part of. And therefore, we support the principles that this organization stands for. The rules-based international order, deterrence, a defensive posture. This is not a situation where we would ever deviate from those fundamental principles which have kept our world safe for decades and decades, and we continue to hope that this will occur going forward.
The door is open.
Merci
Door
beaucoup.
is open.
The door will continue to be open for NATO countries to negotiate towards diplomatic solutions in support of a defensive and deterrent posture. Those are the principles which have kept our world safe and secure and have underpinned democracy and stability since the end of the Second World War, and those are the principles that we will continue to support and reiterate going forward, including in the face of unprecedented Russian aggression at the Ukrainian border. Merci beaucoup tout le monde.